Hello, and welcome to Petty Cab Films Thoughts on the Matrix discussion. And tonight I want to discuss a movie I just finished watching. It's called A New York Christmas Wedding. It seems simple enough, but the concept of the film was about this woman who ended up receiving a chance of going back in time and getting a chance to do over her life, being that she had lost all her loved ones. And I thought back to myself, I had lost all my loved ones for the past 12 years, going on 13. I have experienced no holidays with anyone. Every Christmas, every Thanksgiving, I have spent it alone. I, I contribute this to the fact that a long time ago, when I was going through the gates of hell in my own life, I had found that I was playing this song. It's this Jamaican reggae song. I was home alone, and it was called by Sanchez, Lonely Won't Leave Me Alone. I played this song like 100 times in my home. Just listened to it over and over alone. And that's what my life has become for the past 12 years. Lonely has not left me alone. And so I thought at myself, what can I do? What if that possibility or chance was given to me? When would I like the Matrix to go back to? I would like the Matrix to go back to when I was a freshman in college at BMCC. At the time, I was young and the world was at my fingertips, and I didn't even know it. Being black and a female in New York City, at that time, the city was bustling. It was, the clubs was jamming, the colleges was a bustle. Everything was just so new to me. I had just got my get out of jail card from my mom, so I was able to go and hang out. She still would fucking give me a hard time, but regardless, she would just still just allow me to go and start to be me. But growing up as a black Hispanic, also Haitian in New York City, I didn't realize at that time how stereotypical my life had become. Everything around me was designed around the hood, what a black young teenager girl does in the hood. I remember having jobs and being able to work multiple places, but I did hood shit, buy clothes, buy the newest sneaker, the newest outfit, the newest fashion. One day, me and my friend spoke about it. We both said if we both had ran through about $1 million just in our teens, in our young 20s, maybe even the 30s, but definitely in my teens and my 20s, I threw away $1 million. New York City had so much to spend money on. And as a girl in the hood from New York City, I did what was expected of me, and I spent. I had no concept of getting my own apartment, even though I was sick of living at home with my mom. I had no concept of buying groceries or anything like that. I just had no concept of that. Truly, there was no guidance in their neighborhood. As a black New York City teen, all I really had or was told was you either live at home with your parents or you go move out with some dude, get married, have kids. And even the marriage part wasn't really needed. You just had a baby and moved in with a dude. That's what most of the girls did in my city. Very few girls really explored their life on their own, especially as teens, much less in their 20s. Most girls in their teens in my city were having kids. I remember this group of girls, they all came to class pregnant. They were a clique, and they all decided to have a baby at the same time. Nobody really thought about living their own personal life. outside of the matrix and all the stereotypes that the matrix brings, like being a black woman or a black girl living in the hood. You would want to get your apartment with your girls, hang out, go to school, do stuff like that. We weren't doing that. We either lived at home, and again, like I said, you go live with a guy. And so I think back to that time in my life. I was a freshman in school. One of my homegirls was at Hunter. My other homegirl, she was at BMCC with me, and she was smart. So she was like, I'm not staying at this community college. Let's go to Hunter. She never asked me, but she said she was going to be with Sergi. If I could do it all over again, I wish she had convinced me to go with her. And truly, I should have went with them. Matter of fact, I should have went with her. I should have left BMCC. A lot of times within black culture and black matrix, they teach you got to leave those things behind, childish ways behind you. But those childish ways help you to become who you really want to be. So if me and my girls had decided to go to Hunter, we all could have got jobs, got a renting an apartment in somewhere in the city, even in Brooklyn, wherever. And then we could have just rented out, go to school, and we could have learned each other and we could have learned ourselves without having to be with guys, having a baby, just going through the whole stereotype of being a black girl in the hood. I think about the time when me and Jane decided to like do this nonprofit where we was going to be students for the community, and we thought about building it from the scratch. It was really hard trying to get members. And I remember we would go and we would get votes. We'd go and knock on people's doors, sign them up for votes, and then we'll go and then take the votes to the women's voters league. I think it was the Women's Defense League, something like that. I remember the agency we went to, but I remember we went there and we handed in our votes that we got from the community, and we was like, yo, this can be a way of us making money. But it was hard and we didn't stick with it. And then she left. And the deal was she was supposed to go to Hunter, start a chapter there, and I started a chapter in BMCC. But we split up. We broke up. And she went there and I stayed at BMCC. So there was no possible way. When you have two people thinking the same way, that's when things build. People tell you you can, oh, they're self-made. That's a lie. No one's self-made. The building block is always two. You can't build with one person. You have to have two people. Don't believe the lie these freaking rappers and these so-called gurus tell you. They all had that one person, even if they weren't with them, they had that one person in the background that supported them. And so I feel like if I had left and went to Hunter with my friends, my life would have turned out different. Even if we didn't work with that idea. But Hunter was a bigger campus. We could have took that idea, students for the community, and worked that all the way up. We wouldn't have had to worry about finding a job when we got out of college. But we split up. We broke up. Why? Because I feel like we went with the stereotype of black girls where you leave childish things behind. Where you're perceived in the hood where people are just going to leave. People are just supposed to go. People are supposed to grow up. Well, I don't know if things got any better for her. I know she had a hard time in New York City, and so did I. And I know my other friend did too. The two, they also ended up leaving New York City altogether. I'm the only one that stayed and had to deal with the bullshit still. I'm saying this video is to let you know that one, it always takes two to build. Three, stop living your life as a ghetto stereotype. Just because you're in the hood doesn't mean you have to think like you're in the hood. If you have a job and you're working and you're not happy at home for whatever reason, get with some responsible friends that are just like you and rent a place. And so you get to learn from the start what you as an adult like. When you live with your parents and then leave and then go live with some dude and or the whole living with some female type shit, you don't really get to see who you really are. You get shaped by all the people that are in your life. From the first guy you meet and live with and have a baby with, he shapes how you think. He shapes what you want to do with your life. Even the kids in your life end up shaping you. You might end up being a lawyer after having 5 kids and doing all this extra work. But if you could do all that with 5 kids, imagine what you could have done with none. So I'm so against stereotypical stuff. Yeah, listen to the music. That's our culture. That's a part of a society that's in every hood. But it shouldn't become a part of you. And being a part of society and a part of the matrix is about recognizing that you aren't a stereotype, that you shouldn't be a stereotype, because those stereotypes limit people and it limits their ability to grow. So for me, I never felt like I wanted to marry my friends or have a relationship with them. But I think within the hood matrix, it's perpetuated amongst us that the hood is grimy. You have friends that are fucked up, friends that don't follow the friends' rules, right? And yeah, as friends, you're going to go through that. But we have to surpass that stereotype and break it down and say, you know what? My friend might be this, but if we came together as a friends and concentrated on our efforts on something positive, our community would be so much better as a whole and as individuals, because each person will be pursuing what they want with the people that support them the most. Now that I'm older, I have no supporters, I have no friends, and my family is all gone. I think back all those times that I had people in my life that supported me, I didn't utilize it to my fullest potential. And so again, I would say that the utilization of friendship within the matrix is so important. Making sure that you, as you hang around with people that are like-minded like you. If you want to be rich and you're around friends that's okay with being poor, it's not going to work. They're either going to jealous you or you're going to feel like you're more superior to them and that you want more out of life. And it'll just harbor deep-seated resent on both ends. So it's just best to be with friends that think like you. If you don't want to be in a neighborhood that's shooting and killing, and your friends think the same way too, when you get to school, focus on getting a job or focus on some type of business that you can do where you both can move out and y'all can live together as roommates and get yourself together. And that way, you're breaking the stereotypes. If you have any thoughts on this, you can leave a positive message down there below in the comments. Um, this is a throwback from the 777 channel, thinking 7 times 3 different ways, right? And so um, I'm starting that video series back again, and it's just going to be self-reflection. Um, Self-reflection on everything that has happened into my life and where I'm at now and where my journey is. And I've always wanted to do that. And so with that movie, I would say, where would you like, if you had a chance to go back, what point in your life would you like to do over? And I'm not just talking about on a relationship level, like I will get back with this dude or I'll get back with this girl, but more so in terms of your the decisions that you make based on where you wanted your life to go. And in opposition to the ghetto stereotypes placed on us as black kids in the urban setting.